it's 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition for tonight's headlines. So we have the President of the Republic pays tribute to the memory of the late Queen Elizabeth II. The Human Development Index declined in 2020-2021. Welcome to our newsroom. The President of the Republic pays tribute to the memory of the late Queen Elizabeth II. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, has paid a vibrant tribute to the memory of the late Queen Elizabeth II of the United Kingdom, who passed away early Thursday evening. It is with shock and dismay that I learned the sad news, wrote President Guelleh in a telegram of condolence addressed to the new King of the UK, His Majesty Charles III. She will long remain engraved in the memory of her compatriots for having always carried out her duties with charisma and elegance. The head of state noted she joins her final resting place when she was appreciated, and the passage of time never had any effect on her ability to arouse the esteem and sympathy of her people. The President of the Republic also stressed that beyond the UK, she has left her mark on the history of the contemporary societies, including those of Commonwealth countries, for her constant and willing sponsorship of the most noble causes. He continued expressing his sad condolence to the government and people of the United Kingdom, as well as to the relatives and members of the royal family. Queen Elizabeth II was 96 years old when she passed away early Thursday evening. She breathed her last after a long career of more than 77 years as a queen of the UK, mothers of a large family. She leaves behind her a nation is in turmoil, mourning her death. Elizabeth II, born on April 21 in 1926 in London and died on September 8, 2022 on her castle in Balmoral, Scotland, was Queen of the UK and head of Commonwealth from February 6 in 1952 to September 8, 2022. Listen to her biography.
Elizabeth II, born April 21, 1926 in London and died September 8, 2022 at Balmoral Castle, Stockholm, and was Queen of the United Kingdom and head of a Commonwealth from February 6, 1952 to September 8, 2022. She was the eldest daughter of George VI, King of United Kingdom from 1936 to 1952, and Elizabeth was the formerly Duke and Duchess of York. After that, at her birth, Elizabeth II was third in line of succession after Edward, later Edward III. 1936, King George V died and Edward succeeded him. He, however, renounced the throne before the end of 1936 to marry Wallis Simpson. Thus, the Duke of York, Elizabeth, his father, acceded to the throne under the name of George VI. He will be crowned in 1937 under the eyes of his two daughters, Elizabeth, now heir to the throne, and Margaret Rose. In 1947, Elizabeth married Lieutenant of the Royal Navy Philip of the Prince of Greece and Denmark, then Duke of the Edinburgh, whom she had met in 1939. Prince Philip died on 9 April 2021 at Windsor Castle. Towards the end of his life, George VI was replaced by Elizabeth II during his trips abroad on February 6, 1952, while in Kenya with her husband. Elizabeth learned of death of her father. She became Queen of United Kingdom at 25 years old. She was crowned on June 2, 1953 in the Westminster Abbey by Geoffrey, and for the first time the ceremony was broadcast in Eurovision. On her coming of age on April 21, 1947, Elizabeth had solemnly declared that she would devote her life, whether long or short, to serving her people, leaning firmly on the man she married for love, Mr. Philip, Duke of the Edinburgh, born of Prince of Greece and Denmark. In 2012, Elizabeth II celebrates with great pomp her diamond, that is to say, her 60 years of reigns. In 2022, the Platinum Jubilee, which marks the 70th anniversary of Elizabeth II, is celebrated with the splendors and joy. Although the Queen has made only a few brief appearances, Prince William and Harry, grandson of Queen Elizabeth II, are helping to modernize the images of British monarchy. The Duke and Duchess of Cornwall and Cambridge have a son, George, born on July 22, 2013, a daughter, Charlotte, born on May 2, 2015, and third children, Louis, born on April 23, 2018. George will be William's successors on the thrones of the United Kingdom. The reigns of Elizabeth II is the second longest in European history. She reigned 60 years and 7 months. Queen Elizabeth II died on September 8, 2022 at Balmoral Castle, surrounded by her family. Her son Charles became king under the name of Charles III. William, Duke of Cornwall and Cambridge, became Crown Prince of United Kingdom.
On the sidelines of the International Forum on Cooperation held in Egypt in Cairo under the high patronage of the Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the Minister of Economy and Finance in charge of Industry, Ilyas Moussa Douale, held talks with Dr. Khalida Bouzar, Assistant Secretary General and Regional Director of UNDP Bureau for Arab States, accompanied by the UNDP representative in Egypt, Mr. Alessandro Fracassetti, on ways and means to further strengthen cooperation with UNDP, including priority areas concerning adaptations to climate change and economic and social transformation of Djibouti. The minister insisted on the support of the UNDP for the preparations of the COP27, which will take place in Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt. The director said that UNDP would support Djibouti by providing the necessary expertise for Djibouti and remains committed to its already effective support to the Republic of Djibouti. The sub-prefecture of the 2nd District, in collaboration with the commune of Boul'Aouz, organized an important consultation meeting with the inhabitants of Salin West in the premises of the sub-prefectures of the 2nd District. The objective of this meeting was to discuss a number of issues related to the fight against the consumption of narcotic products, hygiene, security, and sanitation in the Western Salt Flat. A point was raised, that of eradicating and fighting against all these thing. Finally, the sub-prefect of the 2nd District promised to react very quickly to their dolefulness. The strong winds, accompanied by rains that hit the coast of Djibouti in the night of 8 to 9 September 2022, led to the sinking of a fishing boat. Following this sinking in the areas known as Medibis, we unfortunately deplore a death among the 4 fishermen on board this boat. The search and rescue operation launched by the Djibouti Coast Guard, despite the difficult conditions at sea, has allowed it to assist 3 fishermen, 2 of which are slightly injured, and the third suffering from serious injuries following the shock of the wreck. The injured were immediately taken to the fishing port, where they received medical care by the health services of our institutions. The body of the deceased was found at sea and was also taken to the fishing port and then transferred to the morgue of the Sudanese military hospital. The headquarters of the Regional Council of Ali Sabi hosted yesterday a meeting on the management of garbage that litter everywhere in the city and remains the problem is not solved in a sustainable way. The meeting was chaired by the president of these institutions of decentralization, Sharmaki Hassan Allali, including an expert in the management of popular waste, member of the Regional Coordination Committee, composed of the head of decentralized state services, agents of prefecture, and others. The head of the local authorities of decentralization explained to the participant that the purpose of the gathering and the missions of experts, this international expert was sent as part of the support to decentralization and local initiative programs, better known as ADIL. He said he urged the guests of the meeting to share with the experts all the problems on the management of the popular garbage dumps and the possible solutions to recommend. Yesterday morning, Thursday, September 8, was held in the meeting room of the Regional Council of Dakhil an information exchange session on the project participation of civil society in governance and local development. This project is funded by the European Union and implemented by the International Association of Francophone Mayors under the institutions anchorage of the Ministry of Interior. The general objective of this mission is to exchange with the members of the Regional Development Coordination Committee and civil society organizations on the project and on the guidelines of the call for proposals in the directions of civil society organizations for the realization of concrete projects in coherence with the local development priority of the region, which is part of one of the components of the project. The permanent secretary of the ANCLD, Mr. Ali Aden Rufa, said that for his part that the exchanges should allow the project the project management team to collect observations, comments on the contents of the guidelines, particularly on the priority theme in each region. Is the fact funding missions should continue in the regions of Artaobo and Tujura in the 3 communes of Djibouti City. The team, Assas Djibouti Telecom, is actively training for the match that will take place tomorrow, Saturday, against AS Kigali at the Hassan Gouled Abtidon Stadium. During the training sessions, the players performing the exercises to consolidate their ability to coordinate in attack, their mutual support in defense, and their flexibility. The team, Assas Djibouti Telecom, had spent a month of blocked training in Aska for the preparations of CAF Cup that it will play with the Rwandan club AS Kigali tomorrow in Djibouti. This training course had for objective to reinforce certain knowledge, theoretical and practical, or in a more general way to allow the player to keep the rhythms regularly each year. CAF, in collaboration with the member associations of the leagues, engages in a licensing process that focuses on the improvement of club soccer. We learned with consternation the death of Khadija Said Hirabe, born in 19 49, aged 73, was a militant for the first hours of the struggle for the independence of our country. She was among the LPIE and marked by her dedication in the struggle for national liberation before becoming, in 19, a fervent activist of RPP, being among the active pioneers women of the annex of RPP of the neighborhood 6 in these painful circumstances. We express our deepest condolence and sincere compassion to the whole family of the deceased in this painful ordeal. The divine will be unstoppable, imploring the Almighty to welcome her in His holy mercy and His vast paradise, and to grant patience and comfort to her family who lost a mother and the nations who lost a figurehead. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. For the international scene, Human Development Index declined in 2020 and 2021. Listen to Kasir Ali for more details.
The Human Development Index declined in 2020 and 2021. Faced with an unprecedented overlay of a crisis, particularly COVID-19, the war has fallen back 5 years in human development, fueling the mistress and frustrations across the globe, the United Nations said in a report released Thursday. For the first time since its creation more than 30 years ago, the Human Development Index, which takes into account life expected, life education and standards of living, has declined 2 years in a row in 2020 and 2021. The UN Development Program, known as UNDP, report said while the index had been rising steadily for a decade, 2021, it returned to its 2016 level, a rising years of development. This is due to, in a particular, to COVID-19, but also to increase number of climate disaster and crises that are surprise South Sudan ahead of Chad and Niger. The decline in the Human Development Index is largely driven by a drop in life expected of more than a year and a half between 2019 and 2021.
This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.